I work with people to help them see how really incredible they are, how the mind, how life works, so you can understand more how things have been always working for you all your life. Because once you know how a game is played, you can play a better game. You can have more fun in the game. Not that you have to like win the game. I don't mean that. Metaphors only go so far, limit. But once you know how something works, then you can play, you can dive right in. And it's like you have a way better chance of having more fun and delight along the way. Because you know how you're creating your own experience. And the body, I do talk fairly frequently about the body, and it's kind of a focus for me right now. Because over the past few years, I've seen so much around it. I'm always learning. We are always discovering more about ourselves. And that is truly what I stand for. Know yourself so that you can trust yourself. When you understand, know the difference between, when it's just like, I don't think I can trust myself, and you can sort of feel like, it feels shaky. It's like, it kind of is an indication of what you're trying to trust. Whether you're trying to trust this personal mind of ours, this human, what do you call it? That's not, I don't know, human form. Anyways, there's a word I'm looking for. It's escaping me. It won't come out. Or are you trusting the miracle of our life, the energy that is flowing through us, breathing us, living our body, expressing, wanting to express through us? And then we get to experience that expression through the senses of our own body. It's incredible. It's incredible. So when you understand what it is that's really trustworthy, your trust factor goes way up. And then we'll talk a little bit about that today, about how that relates to the body, how it affects the body. Yeah, we have incredible power. Focus on your happy life, and the body will adapt to support it. And I'm going to read what I wrote to describe it, because this is exactly where it's going today. So if you want to think less about your body and get on with a wonderful life despite its shape, focusing on what lights you up is the most effective thing you can do to reshape your body and your relationship with it. So let's talk about this a little bit. We've been conditioned to see things outside of us as if those things mean something about us, that they mean something about our life, that they mean what kind of happiness, joy, anything that is available to us, including the body. But it's backwards. It is backwards. It doesn't work like that. What we experience is our own sensations in our body. That's all we got. That's all we got. I don't experience this pen. When I say I'm feeling this pen, I'm feeling it with the sense of touch. And I'm feeling my thoughts about it. These are my favorite pens. They are Bic soft feel pens, medium. I don't even know if there is different sizes, but they are kind of skinny but not too skinny, and they got like a rubbery kind of thing, so I just like it. It feels good in my hand. So it feels good physically, like fits, and so I'm feeling physical, and I'm feeling my thinking. I'm feeling my preference for it. I'm just going to stop there for a moment because this is really key. This idea that what we are thinking about something, I feel, I'm going to show you another pen I have. Let's see, do I have it? I really like these two, and I have all different colors. I love that they're all different colors. I don't love that they're so, like, I would love for them to all be as thin as this one, because this one feels really good. But this is fine. This is fine too. But it's not as much. So I have a preference. I have a preference for this, but there are times where I prefer using the color. This is just a very simple thing to show that the feeling that comes out with each is different. Now, I don't have a ton of feeling about it. It's not a big deal. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't make me super sad or anything to use this pen because it doesn't fit. It just doesn't really, I don't even really think about it. But I do notice that I do have a preference, right? And sometimes I have a preference of color depending on what activity I'm doing. It's just a very simple thing. Our body is kind of just the same. It's like, I don't sleep with this pen. I don't take it everywhere I go. Well, actually I do. I have one in my purse, and I have one in every room of the house pretty much. So it goes along with me, but not like my body. We have this more intimate relationship with our body. Yet, it is not us. It is not who you are. It is the vehicle through which who you are lives through, expresses through. See, we have preferences. We have preferences. And I tell you, when my pen goes, usually they don't go missing in here, but sometimes the one in the kitchen will disappear. And there's other pens there, and there's a little bit of a grrr. Where's my pen? Right? So do you see how we can feel things with just a simple thing like the pen? Right? So our body is just the same. It's just the same. We use it to do things. I use this pen to write things. I have a few notes, not very many notes, but I do have a few notes. We use our body to create things. I'm using all parts of my body. I notice that I'm moving my hands. I'm using my voice. And I won't even, hazard a guess at all of the intricate things that are happening within the body in making it capable and making me able to speak to you. I don't even know, right? I don't even know. And I don't need to know. So we have this body, and we express through it. I'm expressing who I am, right? Through it, that's all. I'm made to. Okay, let me start over again. Your body is unique to you. It's the only body that you will be able to express who you really are through. You're doing great, mick-eye-la. Thank you, Gretchen. I so appreciate that. I would make a terrible Gretchen. I could not. Nice to meet you, Gretchen. I don't know you. I don't know the sound of your voice. I wish I could see you. But I know that I would not do very well trying to be you through, and I couldn't be me through your body. Does this make sense? This is feeling very clumsy, but I cannot be anyone but myself through my body. But what do we try to do? Sometimes we try to, hey, Sunita, oh, so nice to see you. So nice to see you. And Sunita says hi to everyone. So true. Yes, right. It's true. We can only be ourselves through this body. Through this body. So let's be more of that. Let's do more of that. But what does that mean? What does that mean? No, I want to change my body. I don't, and my body has changed so much over the past 10 years, especially going through menopause. It was just like menopause, the whole thing began when I turned 50, within days of me turning 50. And the body changed. And I changed it so much with my thinking about it. Preventing things, allowing some things, a lot of thinking about it. I'm feeling very discombobulated, honestly. So I'm just going to take a moment here to just like, I really wanted to, and that was the thing, because I really wanted something. I'm just not letting it flow. So I'm just going to let it flow. But it is really important to sort of get this idea that, first of all, we can only be in our body. And it was specially designed, tailor-made for our expression. Tailor-made for you. And yet we go all our life. I remember when I was a kid, I used to get teased of having big lips. And I didn't want big lips then, right? I was very self-conscious of my lips. And then, but it's like I was born with them. And they're right smack dab in the middle of my face. And I can't do anything about, I guess you could have. But thank goodness there came a point where it didn't matter anymore. But there are other things that the attention would then go on. Oh, do I have long ear? Oh, I got those long earlobes. What? Earlobes and noses grow forever? They never stop growing all your life? Are you kidding me? I have these really long lobes, and what are they going to look like when I'm, 50 something, and it's just like, and then that became not important. Right? Janice, love that. My body is tailor-made for me. Awesome. You betcha it is. You betcha it is. Yeah. So that's really important to know. Okay, so now, so that's fine. Great. My body's tailor-made for me. Great. I have and there might be all kinds of things that go on. Some people have pain. And I have worked with someone who had a lot of pain. I witnessed it, and she shared with me there was so many months where she just decided, oh, I'm not going to get up, like she would get up and like need to sort of hold her way to move around because of all the ache, all the pain. And she decided, she told herself something different. She told herself something different because for such a long time, she was telling herself that it hurt, and it hurts to get up, and it hurts to get up, and it hurts to move, and it hurts. So what happened? She had so much pain when she would get up and start moving around. And she just decided, now all that's happened here is that she picked her attention up from one thing and she put it on something that she wanted instead. She focused on what she wanted instead. She had a long period of time, months, where she just got up and walked. yeah, there was times where it came back, where she did it again, and then you get caught up in it, right? I want you to see that we are human. We are not one and done. We have a thinking mind. It's like a ticker tape. It never stops. Even when we have a calmer mind, there's less, but there's still thoughts that will float through. And then it's up to us. It is a choice. It doesn't feel like it at times, especially something we're really revved up about, and the body can be one. For me, it was body, time, money. And the body one for the last few years has been unwinding. Yes, few years. It wasn't a one and done. Oh my God, I got this. I am never going to have another thought about my body that's going to keep me stuck where I am. I'm just going to carry on it didn't work like that for me. I'm not saying it can't work like that for you. I have, it worked like that for me and alcohol. That's another story. But I do know I have one thing that happened in my life where it was just like, I don't even really know what happened. But one day I was drinking alcohol, and then a number of days later I realized that, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. I was abusing it. And then I wasn't. Right? So that can happen. But I want to be real with you here. This has been time. When I first came in, I thought, yeah, I'm going to talk a lot about the body. And then there came a time where it's like, I was seeing so many more things at play around with my body. I saw things that, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I get it. If I focus on, if I think that one of my struggles, with my challenge was weight, and I had a number of years in my 20s when I was bulimic, and went all the emotional eating. Oh yes, so a lot of just not enjoying my body. Always feeling like I had to be on, that I had to do things to change it. I had to be on top of it. It was just like, it was a grind. It's like a full-time job. When I looked at how much I thought about it, thought about my body, thought about food, thought about all different kinds of exercise, thought about what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, what I was ashamed about, what, I was guilty about, what, guilt over, I have a almost 18-year-old daughter, and so, feeling guilty for, passing on habits to them that aren't going to serve them, and, all of that. Like, it was just like, what else can I layer on there? Hi, Gretchen. Like drinking, smoking, and overeating. Yeah. I did take a lot of time, and it did take a lot of time and practice. Yeah. Oh, wait, I missed your first message. Just a moment. I love when my body just doesn't want to do toxic things anymore. Yes. Like drinking, smoking, and overeating. It did take a lot of time and practice. Yes. And I want to, if you're okay with this question, I just want to point to the words that you said. I love when my body just doesn't want to do the toxic anymore. So what is it that doesn't want? We say the body, and I'm going to invite something, just a tweak on that, is that our body is being lived and breathed and animated and expressed through by God, if you use that word, by an infinite energy source, by the creative energy of the whole freaking universe that created this system, designed it so that, like, oh my gosh, there's just so many crazy things that the body does. I'll share one. I shared it in another just because it's still kind of a sort of a novelty thought to me, that you were all in your grandmother's body. Because in a female, all the eggs that the female holds, you're born with them. You don't create new eggs after you're born. So your mom had you in her ovaries when your grandmother was pregnant with her. It's like that. It's like those kinds of like, what? Interesting, hey? That was a sidebar. Recognizing that your body and you living in this body, it's a very little, Sydney Banks, one who articulated the 3 principles of mind, consciousness, and thought, which he used the simplest language that I had ever heard to describe how life works, and that we feel our thinking. That is our experience, and that we are infinite intelligence, that what we know here on this earth is a microscopic aspect of all that we are. So the greater part that we are, this creative energy, is guiding us. It's been guiding us since we were conceived and made our way here. When we were born, we were being guided. We just knew what to do, to get fed, to get changed, to get cuddled. And then we learned different ways to communicate here. And then we were told what to believe, that this is, actually, what were we told? We were told this is your body. It's your body. It's yours to live through. It's yours to take care of. I'm going to draw something because I think it helps. I do it like this. This is how I see us. And we are always thinking. That's just part of it. And here's the creator, or creative energy, or source, or God, whatever words you use. And now this is like those heartbeat things, right? This is how we often see ourselves. Alone, isolated. When we think we need to do it, when we believe that we need to do something to care for our body, that's when we kind of get in our head about it. And we look at all the things that we've learned. We look at all the ways to reduce pain, have a stronger heart, lose weight, exercise after 40, after 50, after 60, menopause, perimenopause. I've looked at them all. And it's not that. Okay, so let's just pause there for a moment. So we look at all those things and we make them our authority. We make all that stuff the boss. And that is our first innocent mistake. We misunderstand. because we don't know that, oh wow, we are actually this. We are 99.9999999% God and 0.0000001% human form. So we have all of this living through us, but we have this human factor, and it's all we can see, so we make it so real. So we kind of dismiss or forget, or really like can't even conceive of that. I can't, like, truly, when I think infinite, my brain vibrates. It can't conceive of infinite, but infinite possibility is available to each and every one of us. And if I'm following, it's like if I'm following my guidance more than someone else, like actively, consciously, and there's a few things I'm getting in my life that I like my favorite pen, it doesn't mean that there's less for anyone else. We all have access to this. It is not something we need to open up the tap for. It's already running. But we do grab the hose and kink it and slow the flow like that. We can't hear it then, because we think we have to figure it out. We need to do it. So that's when we get into, okay, I know that if it's a weight thing, calories in, calories out, right? If I'm taking in more calories than I'm putting out, then I'm going to gain weight. Oh, so I need to do the other. How can I do that? I could exercise my booty off, doing things that I don't like, don't want to do. So I have to force myself, and I can maybe do it for a long period of time, and I get into shape, and oh my gosh, and people are saying, like, you know, how good, and it's just like, oh my God. It's exhausting. When we try to cut ourselves off and do it all on our own, forgetting that we have this, we get exhausted. We get tired. And we don't want to do it. We stop. But when we get to know that we can trust ourselves, because this is who we really are, way more of this than we are of the physical bit. This is what's guiding us. So how do we know? How do we know when we're being guided? And this, okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. This is living through your body. So when our body doesn't want to do toxic things anymore, it's like we are hearing, we are feeling the guidance of our inner guidance. There's a resistance. When this is how you tell, it's all about the feeling. It's all about the feeling. If things are feeling hard and effortful and confusing, and you don't know, then you know that you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to do it on your own, and you need to just let go. Just let go. Go have a nap, go have a walk, go have a sleep, go have a conversation, go out for a coffee. Just let go. This is what happens when you let go. When you're basically, so this is like heavily, or I like to do it like this too. It's like we stack our thoughts. Oh, my marker's dying. It's like we stack all of our thinking. Well, I need to do this, and now I'm, let me get my marker. now I'm okay. So it's like, okay, I'm 50 something now. Now I got to look at this. And now I got to look at my bones, and I got to start taking this, and I got to exercise differently, and I got to do that, and I got to do this. And it's just like, Now it doesn't mean that God, if that's okay to use that word, isn't going to say and give you a little spark. An inspiration, to me, it like feels like a spark. So there's this spark that kind of shoots up, and it's just like, oh, I'm going to go. I'm going to go for a walk. Hey, I kind of want to try yoga. I kind of want to go for a bike ride. I kind of want to get inspired to do things that work for you. And that is key, because we're all different. So what we're me, maybe it will me, maybe it will me, maybe it will, maybe it. So when someone has their shape, their, whatever's happened, or they say, I don't have any pain anymore. All of a sudden I started to get better. And then people will come, and it's like, well, what did you do? And then we take that and we go, it's like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this. I'm just like, and it doesn't work. We get disappointed and frustrated. Yeah. I'm just going to check in in the chat. So Gretchen, yes, I was supposed to be on vacation this last week with my sister and her husband, but I came down with pneumonia. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dang it. Instead, and I'm wondering if I got sick to avoid my toxic sister. It's so brilliant. Yeah, I like how your mind works. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying yes, that is. What I'm saying is, yes, our thoughts have so much power over what happens in our bodies and in our life. Everything. They're everything, actually. Everything is created twice, right? First in thought, and then out here somewhere. Maybe even a conversation. So, and we have we're aware of some things, and we're unaware of some things, some thoughts that we are having that are, they've worked for us somehow there was some kind of benefit. So anyways, that is such a great demonstration, Gretchen. Even that you wondered about that. There must be something that you've even recognized it. So it's so great. Hi, JG. Yes, it feels like a merry-go-round and spinning. Healthy means this. Yeah. Gretchen, wondering if there is a relationship between the two. Yeah, well, there could be. There absolutely could be. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to know that. You don't have to know. Right? I'm curious now that you're not there, if the pneumonia will pass quickly. I do hope that for you. The thing is, what do you want? If you wanted to maybe you wanted a vacation, maybe you didn't want the vacation that was offered with your sister and her husband. Maybe there were some things there that you would rather holiday on your own rather than be with that. Maybe you're not even aware of it, or maybe you are. We innocently do this all the time. It used to happen to my daughter a lot. It wasn't till like years later that we discovered that she had a lot of anxious thinking. I didn't recognize it because I did too. yet. So she would get injured whenever they went to a elementary school up to grade 8 that did a lot of outdoor pursuits. So overnight camping, skiing, snowshoeing, skating, different. And she was very active, but and overnight, yeah, they would do overnights as well. So often she would get injured, and then Then be sort of pulled out. Didn't have to be with all the kids. It was amazing. And then, after she'd be walking around the hostel or whatever, and then someone would point out, it's like, you're not even limping. And then she would start limping again. It wasn't that she didn't have injury. She kind of did. But even with this, it's like the more we focus on the physical thing, the thing outside of us, and whatever meaning we're making of it, the more we blow it up. We expand it. Like the person that I work with who didn't feel pain, who didn't have to do all of this to get up and to move around. She just decided that she's not going to focus on that. Her attention flipped to ease, and I don't remember what her words were, but ease, and just easy getting up and moving. Just ease with it. It just became easy for her. Right? Do you have any questions? Because I know I tend to jump around a little bit. So did I leave a gap that is just like, wait, how do we get from, how was that? Let me know yeah. I'm going to look at my notes and just see. It's funny because some of the things that came up, I brought one of my cookbooks because I saw it this morning. It's like, I have a comment about it, but it's like, I'm not really sure. At the time when I saw the cookbook on the counter, I know that it made sense, and I brought it up to use but I don't know exactly what it was. I know it was around adding the ingredients, following your own way. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad I said it. So I'm going to show you one of these. I did the page of like 2 of them. Now you might not be able to see this so well because it's paper or it's pencil, but this is one of my favorite bruschetta recipe, and you can see that there's so many notes in it because it wasn't yummy until I made it yummy. And that is what we do. We have these preferences, right? So what is going to make your body feel yummy to you? It's like we all have a body. Most of us have all of our parts. Some of us maybe not. But we all start with a body, a recipe, and then we get to what? We get to either figure it out on our own or look at all of the propaganda, all of the things that, well, my family, I'm the youngest of 7, and it's like, I think, yeah, there is no one in my family that at one point or another in their life, they weren't, wanting their body to be different. And usually it was around weight. So, we could look at, it's like, well, it's your genetics, or, it's just in my family, or all of that. And I don't necessarily agree with that. That's just my opinion. What I do know is that our thoughts have so much to do with it, have so much to do with our experience. So when we look at here we have our body, it's like the main recipe. And it's like, then we use our own internal guidance. This is our own internal guidance system to guide us in when, what, all of that. When to eat, what to eat, when, and maybe it'll change, at different times in your life. When I was pregnant, I probably ate maybe a little bit differently, not that much maybe, but there were some things that I couldn't eat because it turned me off, and I still can't eat to this day. Amy's no chicken noodle soup. I used to love it, and then I got pregnant with Elizabeth, and then I couldn't eat it anymore, ever. So things can change. Things can change. And you're right. It seemed like my body repelled it, but it was just like, I don't know, there's something. Do I not like it now? Like if I had it now, because really all I'm thinking about is when I was pregnant with her and we were camping. I found out just on our way to go camping, actually. We were away for 2 weeks, I believe, and we had a lot along. My son was 3 at the time, or almost 2. I guess he was 2.5 or 2 and a bit. And I remember it. So what am I not liking? I'm remembering the repelling. That was my last experience with that soup. So now I just say I don't like it anymore. Well, is that true? I don't know. I might actually like it now. But the memory of when I didn't like it is like strong. And it's like, and I don't really care. It's not really important to me to have it or not. So that's kind of one thing. And I just realized, like, let's talk about this moving on with your happy life. Let me just check into the comments here. Gretchen, good question. Thanks. Yeah. You're welcome. Roseanne, hello. This is really resonating and gives me permission to take a break from all my ruminating about chronic health issues. Yes, lovely. Now I want to get, so I felt that was important to sort of understand that sort of underground part of it, underneath the surface that we're not really so much aware of. And now taking that, so what happens if we are okay, so for example, we were talking about what I wanted to get to about just focus on what you really want to do. Because if you focus on what you don't really want to do, like I gotta do this and I gotta do that, we are energetic beings, and it'll bring your energy down. You're not doing it from a space of inspiration from who you really are. You're doing it from a place of, I gotta do this. And it is unsustainable. And it will not last. Unless you can push, like, the only people I know who kind of push that way, I've heard someone talk and I had to turn it off because it just felt so heavy. And it was a military related sort of lifestyle kind of thing. And that can really work for someone. If you are inspired to do that, it can work. So did you listen to my words? For me, when I imagine that, it's just like, no. For that person, they were lit up by it. But for me to be able to do that, I would have to push and force, and that just sounded gross. But that person sounded pretty lit up by it. They were inspired by that way of life and living. It worked for them. Of what I could see, of what they were sharing, that's what it looked like. Right? So when we're focusing on what we don't want to do, we're basically trapping ourselves in a place of getting what we don't want. When we just really get clear on what is it? I'm going to ask this question now. What is it that lights you up? What are you interested in? What are you curious about? What have you always wanted to do, but what have you been putting off until you get better? Get better, Gretchen. Allow that to heal up. Allow your body to do what it does. And allow the Creator, your inner guidance, to guide you on what to eat and drink and when to sleep, and if you need fresh air or not, or whatever, maybe a hot bath or cold I don't know. Follow it. Roseanne, I find it hard to discern between guidance and thinking mind, though, because of being chronically fatigued, brain fog. Yeah. I understand. That is the magical thing about the body. Okay, actually, so I can see how this can be, because because I'm talking about what is the body telling you? It's like, it's not the body. It's something deeper wants to come through and is coming through, but our attention, our focus is on likely the health issues, right? So picking your attention up off of the health issues, off of how, and for all of us, how we don't want our body to be, what we want to be different. Let's look to what we really do. Because why do we want something to be different? This is an important connection I want to make here. Gap, I just realized that. Why do you not want these chronic health issues? What do you want? Why do you want it? It's that feeling. We're always driven by a feeling. When we become clear about what it is that we really want and why, it's like part one question sort of gets you into, about that shooting for the star, go to the, what was it? Something about, if you want to land on the moon, shoot for the stars or something like that. I don't know. But it's like the what you want gets you in the ballpark, in the neighborhood. And then the why is what's important. Because it's a feeling. And now this is a spoiler alert. The feeling that we're all honing in on, the feeling that we're all tracking back to is the feeling of home, is the feeling of, peace, calm, aliveness, comfortable, settled. It's like home base. We want to feel, you will have different words, right? You might have different words. We're always tracking back home to the feeling of who we really are. This is why I take a stand for you got to know yourself. Know yourself. And you will trust. You will begin to trust yourself. And you will hear it more. You will hear the voice. You will see things. You will start looking. When I was talking about like looking, what is it you want? What is the feeling that you want? Because what you might think you want something, you might know you want something. A knowing is going to come. It's like, I know I want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. And I've never allowed myself because of A, B, C, D, whatever. What are you holding back? What do you know that you truly want? There might be things that you just think you want. Okay, it's a good starting spot. Because there's a feeling to that too. And then when you start to go in that direction, you might find that, oh, I actually don't want that. I want this. But you won't know until you try them out. You won't know until you take a step. Ooh, what is this? Ooh, I like the feeling of this pen. What about this one? You got to go to the store to get pens and try them out to know where you're going to go. You know you're going for a pen. You know you need to write something. So you're going to the store. You're going for what you want. And I might go to the store the next time and maybe they'll have sample pens, something different, and I'll try it out. I will be there. I'm going to the store to get my Bic soft feel medium pens. Thank you very much. And then I get to the store and they got samples of some funky new pen and I try it out and it's just like, oh, wow. Ooh, I like that. I'm preferring something different. I've let go of that pen and now I'm on to something new. You are not made to stay stagnant. You are lived by the creative energy of the universe. Creative. We're creators. We're creating all the time. I'm creating something with this conversation. You're creating too in your response, in just being here. I can't even hear some of you or see anything that you might be thinking, but you're creating with your thinking. You're already preferring things. When you take action on what it is that you truly just want to do in your life, even if it's like, okay, I'm chronically fatigued right now, that is what is. When we get more enamored with what is than what's possible, than what's next, we will stay stuck where we are. I'm telling you though, this is available to you. Even Roseanne, if it's a tiny step. I'm curious to know if you answered the question for yourself, what is it that you really want? If you didn't have chronic fatigue, what is it that you'd be doing? And I want to invite you to start moving in that direction now, despite that. Because when you take your attention off of what you don't want and put it on what you want, and you already are sparking that feeling. Remember, if you're here in the beginning of the conversation, we were talking about Neville Goddard's, isn't it wonderful? Oh my gosh. Every time I just felt my shoulders drop a little bit with that. It's magical. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, Rayo. Hi, Rayo. This is such a great talk. Wish I had known some of this a year ago when I was under so much pressure following strict, healthy rules. That made me feel so trapped and tense. I'm only started to let go of the rules and listen to my guidance. Your delivery is so kind and helpful. I am so glad, Rayo. I'm so glad. And yeah, Roseanne said, yes, taking notes and answering, inspiring. I'm so glad. It will surprise and delight you. And I'm going to invite you to continue to not, to, you're going to forget. You're going to forget this. You're going to forget the conversation. You're going to, because I will too. I do too. That's one thing to remember, is that you are human. I am human. We will forget, but not for long. Not for long. And the more you remember this, the more you keep coming back to, what is it that I really want? What do I want to feel? That's what I'm going to put my attention on. That's what I'm going to take my next steps on. That's where I'm going. And then allow yourself to be surprised and delighted, because it's going to it can change. It's going to change. Something's going to change. Maybe something will continue to work for you for a long time. Maybe at some point, Bic is going to, maybe I better write him a letter and say, please don't. Maybe, no. Maybe Bic will stop making these pens, and then I'll be forced to choose another pen. You know what? I have no doubt that there is another pen out there that will work for me, and it'll feel good in my hand, and it'll do the job, and it'll be just fine. And if I get caught on this, oh my God, okay, great. Well, they don't make mine, but that's fine. If every time I pick up my pen, feel a little bit of resentment and anger and frustration, and why did Bic have to go and not, that is a drag on my energy, and it is a pinching off of the flow of wonder and delight that is always guiding me. So let's, in my experience and what I have seen, the more you remind yourself, right, I'm thinking, even if it's a quick, I'm only feeling my thinking, and I'm feeling pretty cruddy right now. What am I thinking about? And it doesn't even so matter. It doesn't even really matter what the thinking is. It's just that, oh, whew, glad I caught that I was thinking something that was having me feel all tense and tight and drawn and even more pain. What do I really want here in this moment? What do I want instead? Let me go there instead. And allow yourself to, like, okay, what's next? Maybe it's go over a nap. Maybe it's watch a show. Maybe it's call a friend. Maybe that was it. That was enough. It's like, oh, now I can carry on with my day. And just feeling I'm doing the same thing as I did before, only the thoughts in my head are different. Because now I'm looking to, what is it that I really want? What's the feeling? Because here's the thing, this feeling that you want to experience is available and will be offered to you in so many different ways throughout your day, even right in your own home. Wandering around your home, you're going to start seeing things that make you feel peaceful, that make you smile, that have you like appreciate, that it's just like, oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, it's like, oh, that's my plant. It's a little dot. I'm going to just wipe that out. And that, there's all good feelings that can come up depending on what it is that lights you up in your body. And here's the thing, your body is always adapting. Your body is always adapting to support whatever activity you're doing. Oh, I am so sorry, but I'm going to have to cut it off in about 2 minutes because I have a call at 11:15 our time. So sorry about that. I got carried away. Your body is always adapting. Has it ever happened where you know, those who might feel pain or discomfort, or if you have a few extra pounds or whatever, and maybe there's something that you kind of get all involved in or wrapped up in, and it's like, oh, and you forget that you were in pain. It's like you're not even aware that you're in pain. Or it's like if you're involved, especially for a few days in something, you know, maybe it's a weekend, whatever, and at the end of the weekend, it's like, hey, my pants are a little bit looser or something. It's like, what happened? And then all of a sudden we go to, ooh, I better, like, okay, I better watch what I'm eating now, and well, this is a good start, and then we like just foible it. No, the body is adapting because we're doing things we're enjoying. We're getting lost in the delight of our life. When we put our attention on something else, your body, it just adapts. I maybe didn't talk about that soon enough, but I'm going to like say, thank you, Roseanne. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. I'm just going to invite you to notice, even just like take a few minutes and just look back at your life. The things that you were doing in your life. I've run one marathon. I've done halves. I used to run a lot. And my body adapted to that. I wasn't always able to run a marathon. But when I got this little thing, this little spark that came up, it's like, hey, I want to run a marathon. All of a sudden, I found myself doing these long runs. And eating differently, I don't know. I think I was maybe eating more, but I think maybe I ate differently. I don't know, but I know things changed. It wasn't that I thought, okay, now that I'm running a marathon, now that I'm going to be doing this, I need to. No, the only thing that I knew I needed to do was run more. I got more massages. When a number of years ago, I got involved in this health product kind of thing, and it was just, I was spending so much time sitting at my desk, and I was stressing myself out. Anyways, my body kind of spread. My body adapted to support the activity that I was focused on doing for the majority of my time. Your body changes all the time. It's not a stagnant thing. We're living in it, and it's like Play-Doh. It's like we're the inner Play-Doh and it's the outer Play-Doh. It will change and adapt with what we are wanting to make of our life. Following the feeling of, does this feel good? And I hope, Roseanne, that you will be able to distinguish between these, even with what is currently, and also knowing that what is now. This is not stagnant energy. This is already moved past what is. It's already moved on to the next thing that it wants to express through you. So don't hold back. Don't hold back you. Be more you. This has been so great. I do have a group. If you have any questions or things, and you'd want to engage in there, that is cool. It's called Knowing Yourself to Trust Yourself. Know Yourself to Trust Yourself community. Hey, Nicholas, nice to see you. Thank you. Good, and I'm glad it was helpful. You're so welcome, Roseanne. You're so welcome. It was a pleasure for me. And I put there's something, if you haven't looked at my bio this morning, within the last couple of hours, then please have a look. There's some new things that I've put in there. And I'm going live next week. Hey, Jamie, this was great. Glad I caught this today. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it was helpful. Nice to meet you. Next week, it is on, it's getting to know yourself, getting to know your body like a friend. Let's explore more and see where it goes. So I love you all. It's a pleasure to be in here, to converse with you and talk about these things. You're welcome. This is wonderful. I'm so glad, Janice. I'm so glad. Lovely to see here, to be with you in community. And I hope to see you again soon. Okay. Ciao.